So if guest leave, then he will be able to join. Basin Saab, good afternoon. You are joining first half of our webinar this time.
Yes.
Oh, Kohli ji, namaskar. Mr. Bipan Kumar Kohli, Joint Textile Commissioner, working. Namaskar Kohli ji and welcome to this webinar, Nishti webinar.
Welcome, Kohli ji.
Gharat Saab, you know Mr. BK Kohli?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Hmm.
I never met him, but I.
To this web. Many stalwart have joined. Shivani is there. Anil Narkhade is there. Monica Gupta. Naresh Pawar. Archana Shastri. Utpal Sharma. Welcome you all.
Dr. Lal, good morning. This is Ram from USA, but I'm really thrilled that you all take it as a passion.
Oh.
Unlike Yajna to do it. That's why I have to get up and do all the things by 5 o'clock and be ready. But I'm not able, I'm not missing this because you are all mostly senior, but still you are doing it. So it is a Yajna is itself a tapa. So that is your Yajna, Jnana Yajna. So all the best to you.
Professor Ram Kumar, you have no compare. You are an untiring person, always writing your snip prints that one, and then always you are on the round and studying the industry problems and giving your comments. And we are so thankful to you that you are joining our webinars, which Nishti is a very small institution if we compare with you, your size. So we are so much thank you to you that you are taking out time from USA to join our webinar.
Welcome, Professor Rajkumar.
Mr. Gharat, namaste, sir.
Namaste, namaste. Thank you very much for joining.
You should not thank. It's only I learned.
We learned a lot of.
Arun Patra from GCTI, Professor Arun Patra, he has also joined. कोहली जी ऑफिस में ही है, but he may be mute. Okay, Dr. Yadav, now we can start.
Yes, sir. Just give me a minute. Right, sir, we are good to go. I welcome all the participants and very good afternoon to one and all. We have advanced further into our 2 webinar series. which has gone very well. The very first series by Professor MD Teli had gone very well on 23rd. So these two webinar series, which is basically based on technological breakthrough in the evolution of textile industry. And today we have a lecture, a talk by Mr. Vilas Gharat on introduction and benefits of industrial revolution 5.0. NISTI, as it is full as it's a body of North India section of the Textile Institute, has endeavored to bring all the fraternity of the textiles, including the students, professionals, entrepreneurs under one umbrella, and trying to connect them through a knowledge sharing platform. So this webinar is one such attempt to have that interconnection established within the fraternity of textiles. And I once again welcome you all to this webinar. And I hand over the floor to our chairman, Dr. R.A. Lal, to take it forward.
Thank you, Dr. Yadav. Before I say something, I would invite Professor Nian to give introduction of speaker, Mr. Gharat. About NISTI in brief, Dr. Yadav has already spoken.
Right.
So you may speak about Mr. Gharat.
Mr. Gharat. Thank you, Dr. Lal and Dr. Yadav. Welcome, Mr. Vilas Gharat. A small snippet, but great credentials. And I must introduce you a very interesting personality today. He is a very proud son of ex-army man who served Indian Army. So welcome, Mr. Gharat. That is a lovely sentence to begin with. Mr. Gharat has been working as a managing director, having over 50 years experience in all sectors, composite sectors of the textile industry, including operations and HR with emphasis in business processes. There are many areas of specializations that he's dealt with over years of managing the textile industry. In the past, his experience has included being the project director for Oswald Hammerley Textiles to establish the state-of-art technology plant for manufacture of sophisticated yarn-dyed shirting project. He's also been the executive director of Suvin Advisors Private Limited, has been the senior president of S. Kumars, has been technical and commercial advisor to JK Cotton Mills, senior president to Morarji Brembana Limited, production manager at Vilas in Indonesia. His positions held at present are being the managing director at Gharat and Associates, being group advisor of S. Kumars Private Limited, board member of Trustees Textile Association India, Mumbai unit. Welcome, Mr. Gharat. I would now like to invite our president, Dr. Lal, to give your opening remarks.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Professor Nian. In fact, Mr. Vilas Gharat has got very high credentials. And in short, what has been given by Professor Nian is not enough, but time doesn't permit us to tell everything about him. The best thing of his credentials are he's a son of ex-army man. And second thing that he's associated with the students. That is why he still looks young, very young. He doesn't look, his look doesn't match with his age. And he is a product of VJTI, which is an institute, has got very high credential in India. And it was established from pre-independence era. So he is a product of that, and he is still associated with the two of the renowned institutes, that is VJTI and DKT, the two very great institutions in Western India. And he is always looking for giving his might to the students. and he always wished to remain a student only. When I talked to him about this Industry 5.0 presentation, he said my presentation will be more benefiting to the students rather than the stalwarts of NISTI. So I said nothing, no matter. Nonetheless, you can give your presentation. We are many people. We are there who have to still learn. I tell you the conversation I had with one of the former DG of Textile Research Association. He said, लाल साहब अब इंडस्ट्री 5.0 में हमको लिए जा रहे हो, मुझे तो अभी तक 4.0 ही नहीं समझ में आता है. मैंने कहा you remain associated with the NISTI and you will learn everything. Mr. Gharat has been very active in Mumbai technically and socially also, and he is very active member of Textile Association of India, and he writes in the JTA, the Journal of Textile Association. So that way, from his articles, he is known all over India, and maybe because this JTA goes to other parts of the world also, so people know him very well. So I don't want to take much time of the participant, but just saying means just giving introduction and credentials of Mr. Gharat. I would hand over the floor to Mr. Gharat to himself come out with his brilliant experience and his knowledge to share to the participant, including students. So floor is yours, Mr. Gharat.
Thank you, sir and madam. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share some experience and knowledge to members as well as to the students. I especially thanks to the students who might have joined this webinar. I request all the students, including all stalwarts, that if you want anything more or if you don't understand what I'm presenting now, please write on my mail, which is given also at the end, and you can knock my door at any time. I'll be happy to share whatever knowledge I have got, or I can get the good persons who has got a particular knowledge about your queries and all. Thank you to all in advance, and let's start our presentation. I will take your about 40-45 minutes, and then you can ask the questions, which I'll try to fulfill your questions with whatever capability what I have. I'm talking about the industrial revolutions. The industrial revolutions are basically based and carried out by the human brain. So it is always, we have to keep it in mind. All the revolutions have to be linked with the human intelligence and human brain. So let's first check in a brief that industrial 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we reach to industrial revolution 5. The major inventions are given below. Our first industrial revolution started in 1765, and invention was the coal. Second industrial revolution started in 1870, and the invention with the coal, oil, and gas. Three major things in the two revolutions. Third industrial revolution started in 1969, and electronics and nuclear energy is the great invention in that period. Fourth industrial revolution started in 2000, and the major invention is internet and renewable energy. If you see the first 2 or 3 revolutions, The revolution has taken place nearly after 100 years. And then afterward, that has taken a speed. Let's see what are the benefits to the industry by this industrial revolution, especially for a textile industry. The textile industry is basically a very labor intensive, and our laborers are not very highly educated or qualified, and therefore we get a lot of human errors and mistakes, and we were suffering a lot for the export as well as for the domestic market. And that is why this industrial revolution has given us the major breakthrough of avoiding the human errors and improved our product and quality as per the requirement of the customer. Every industrial revolutions has benefited our industry, all the industries, not only a textile, to minimize our operating costs and higher productivity. And that has made us to enter into the global market. Today we are exporting our fabric or many things, and that is only because of this industrial revolution. I've given you just one photograph. What is industrial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's which I will explain in brief to all of you. Let's take a industrial revolution 1 that is started in 1765. See, previously everything was dependent on agriculture. So this industrial revolution changed our economy from agriculture to industrial. It is transformed to the industrial revolution. Process become mechanized and products were manufactured, not in a big way, in a proto-industry. There were small industries where the products were manufactured. The discovery was coal, was a great invention. And most of it that extraction of a coal, because only discovery is not going to help us. We have started extracting a required coal for our industry. Side by side, there is when we received a coal, there is a definitely innovation of a steam engines and metal forging. Several new textile machinery manufacturers use this invention to create a new technology for getting a qualitative product, such as cotton ginning, mule spinning, power loom. Previously, everything was done by hand, and it was, quality, quantity was definitely a very less. The cloth production started becoming faster, and the cycle time has become faster because cycle time is a very, very important thing in today's market. Many textile mills in UK revolutionized themselves, especially Manchester. If you say Manchester, where maximum textile industries were there initially. You can see a 5 major invention in a textile industry. The flying shuttle. Flying shuttle, why it is calling as a flying shuttle? Because it flies. Sometimes it's come out of the machine and gets injury to the people. This was the invention done by the John Kay in 1733. And they were using a cord. Now, there are a lot of more things occurred, but they were using a cord on a picking shaft to make this flying shuttle fly. Spinning mules, power looms. There were hand looms which are converted into the power loom. Cotton ginning, jacquard looms. Jacquard looms makes a beautiful designs and all these things, which we'll see later on. And synthetic dyes. These are the photographs of this loom. A person working on a loom and the lady working on a mute. There is an old lady who was working on a charkha. A gentleman is working on a loom, that is a jacquard, which is having a different design patterns. And last, you see a flying shuttle. That shuttle, it goes between the warp and web, and that the weaving is done. That's a technology. And that technology made all further invention with the automations and everything. But these are the basis of all our textile spinning and weaving technologies, which improved much better in further revolution. Let's take second revolution. It was started in 1870. The main, I will say that invention of this is the electricity, and that is with the gas and oil. It was a great breakthrough, and that is why with the electricity and all, we could reach to a mass production. We could increase our productivity, we could increase our production, and satisfy our customers' demand. The next major invention is automobile and planes, and that's why the second industrial revolution is considered to be the most important revolution, because all this about two invention has been modified, has been made a lot of changes in that. The basic things were invented in Industrial Revolution 2. The automobiles and planes are made us to make our world together. Then there is a one more thing which has given a great boost up for our industry or our communication, that is telegraph and then telephone. We were in a position to connect each other on those days with the telegraph or the telephone. And that is also one of the great things happen in the Industrial Revolution 2. That's why the Industrial Revolution 2 is the most important. I would say it is the base of all the revolutions today. The mechanical production grew into the speed to the advanced technology of a mass production, because we have everything, coal, gas, electricity, everything. Then invention of a combustion engine was also made because the fuel was there. The textile industry was highly benefited for the modern technology, reducing cost and the less manpower. Previously, there used to be thousands and thousands people for a small work. Those who are knowing the spinning industry, they know there used to be so many machines that spinning, but things have changed afterward. This is a photograph of a few of a that is called as a speed frame in a spinning, and other is a gas turbine. Now let's go to the Industrial Revolution 3. Industrial Revolution 2 has made a great impact and given a great acceleration to our people who started using their intelligence and brain to create more and more advancement in the technology. And that has started reflecting in the Industrial Revolution 3, which began in 1969. And where the major thing is the electron and the technology of electronics has made our production not only on mass production, but there are a lot of automation has done. We automated our production with the quality and quantity. Then this third revolution, because people were thinking, their brains were becoming sharper and sharper, which has opened the doors to the space expedition, research and biotechnology. So the base of earlier, both the revelations made the people to think in a different way. And they started thinking and doing a lot of experiments with the research and all. The PLC and robot were they invented in this all this in our brain in this revelation. Nuclear power was started in Europe. As we in Industrial Revolution 2, we got the electricity. That gradually the electricity generation was started by nuclear power, and that Europe has taken a first lead to start. And gradually it is grown into the United States and the Asian countries. That program logistic controllers, that is PLC and robots, help to rise an era to high level of the Industrial 3 revolution is the breakthrough to high level of automation. And I will say that is the first step of automation done by the human brain only. It helped the industry to reduce manpower and human errors in a big way. This automation has made to reduce the human error in a big way. I would say that in the 19th century or afterward 20th century, we were getting a lot of rejection for our fabric. If I take a textile industry, that fabric, and 90% of the defects were because of the human errors, not the machine error. And that human errors has been reduced by the automation in the Industrial Revolution 3. And we really enter into the good export market. Similarly, this Industrial Revolution 3 is known as a digital revolution. There are a lot of digitalization is done in this era. Many areas are covered with this digital revolution, which started in late 90s. And it's still being developed more and more and more. And I think it is being getting developed to highest level, and still it is being continued. It was the use of electronics, computers, and invention of a internet. You know, internet is a life to us today, which was invented in this revelation. Today we cannot live without internet. So you may be knowing what is the importance of internet today, but in those days, the internet has made a breakthrough for the all the industries, not only all the industries to go for the next stage. These are the some machines which that is being producing a mass production. One is a weaving shade, other is a warping and sizing shade, and other is a bleaching and dyeing. See, the Industrial Revolution 3 has definitely had an impact in Indian industry, and Indian industry has grown big way in this area. And there are large mills in Mumbai, Kanpur, many places who started competing with the Manchester. I know that the Mafatlals and all, they were exporting their fabric to the Manchester, competing with the many textile units in the Manchester. So this is also one of the major area of a revelation, which we have seen with the so many machines. You can find out what are the machines have been generated or manufactured in this time. Now let's go to the Industrial Revolution 4. It began in 2000. Industrial Revolution 4 is a recent one. When I was a president of a textile in India, Textile Association of India, Bombay unit, Mumbai unit, we have conducted a first seminar on industrial regulations and Industry 4 for a textile. And we consecutively done 2 seminars. Then also people were telling that go more and more. Because as Dr. Lal said, still there are many people in the industry who is not aware even of a Industry 3 or Industry 4. And that is why my sincere efforts to make this knowledge, basic knowledge available to our students who are our definitely future of our country. So Industry 4 started in the dawn of third millennium with one thing everyone uses every day, that is internet, which is our life. You stop breathing once if you do not have internet with you. You take a lot of things with you, mobile, this, that, but it has become one of the lifeline for us. We observe a shift in the energy, that is renewable energy, such as solar energy, wind power energy, geothermal energy. See, because the electricity and all, it started getting costlier and costlier. Electricity, oil, gas, it has become a monopoly nowadays. And that's why it is very costly. So we started getting this solar, wind powers and all things, which is definitely a much cheaper than that, so that we can reduce our cost of production and get the mass production as we require. Industry 4, a special thing about the Industry 4 is that it is producing a mass production with the marginal involvement of a human, or I can say no involvement of a human. This revelation has suggested and made all the technology improvement so that without human or very minor involvement of human, you can go for a mass production where you make your zero defect product. And the zero product concept is started with this in textile industry also. The textile machine makers created energy efficient, highly automated machines to avoid the human. Even in India, not a processing machine, but spinning machines are definitely made to a best standard, world standard by Lakshmi Rita and many others. Similarly, looms are also many factories have tried to do it, but still we are not that much independent in making such a machine. If we have to view the Industry 4 as a revelation, we will have to admit the revelation continued till today. So I'm telling you, the people who said that we don't know Industry Revolution 4, don't worry, still it is on. At least we are still, especially I would say in India, we are still not that much successful for Industrial Revolution 4. We have been importing the machines from Europe or many other countries, which are fully automated, which are working fully on a PLC bench. But we are unable to keep it fully automated because of don't know what is the reason. And that's why still we are not in a position to really. So it is still going on in many countries as well as in India also. So more we go deep into the industry 4, we will make more and more improvement. We are not experiencing whether we are carrying industry 2, 3, 4, but we are definitely carrying industry 4 nowadays in a day-to-day area, and the magnitude of this is still not known to anybody of us. I'm telling you that really I also don't know whether I'm having this operation with industry 3, 4, what is that? So the magnitude is very, very high, but it is still not known to the people. See, the major tools of the technologies of this, Internet of Things, IoT, LOT, Industrial Internet of Things, cyber physics, smart manufacturing, smart factories. Smart factories. Very few smart factories are there in our country. There are many smart factories I've seen abroad. As I've seen a spinning unit in European countries, 30,000 spindles run by 7 people in all the 3 shifts. Such a automation is done, and that is completely in a proper way. But there are ways. See, we had taken a special subject of a smart factories in one of our webinar with the Textile Association. And it's a very big learning for everybody. Cloud computing, artificial intelligence. So these are the difficult subjects, and we need to have a separate webinar on this every subject to guide our students, facilitate our teachers. As I told that teachers also should be trained. So we have to have more and more introductory webinars and deep webinars for this type of a tools also, which are making us perfect as an industrial revolution 4. These are the some machines I'm showing you, which has been created in industrial 4 by manufacturers across the world in a staple spinning, twisting, embroidery, filament, and all these things. See, this is one map or route. Hello, anybody wants to raise the hand?
Sir, we will give them a chance to ask the question after you finish your presentation. Is that fine?
Okay, that's fine.
Yes. Please go ahead.
So I'm giving a small diagram, which a small industry where how this flow chart is there, and you can see to it that how that flow chart is there, right from raw material, production, supply, then everything, managing the machines and everything up to the delivery. So, and you could see people working are minimum. If you see a people working on a production area, is minimum. 3D printing is done. You will not find many people. As against the supply, raw material, there you are find the people or the operating the. So this is what is the industry for. This is what is a smart factory. This is a small model of a smart factory. And many people are, getting consultants from outside to create a smart factory, especially in manufacturing the uh, machineries and all. Still, nobody is coming for the smart factory in the fabric or the textiles. Now let's come to the Industrial Revolution 5. The Industrial Revolution 5 is a human centric. As I told you right in the beginning, all the industrial revolutions have been done by the human brain. And all the improvements in has been done by the human brain. And in Industry 4, we have kept a human aside. We have come to a stage where the humans are kept aside and the robots have started working in place of the human. As I told you, in India, we are not that much successful in the Industry 4. But in many countries also, still, they are not successful to that extent because that human are kept aside. Human intelligence, human brain is kept aside. So Industry 5 is nothing but keeping the human in a centric place. Promote talents, diversity, and empowerment. See, our brain can do a lot of things, which will come and to know afterwards. The second is resilient. It is agile. Human brain is agile and resilient and flexible and sustainable. It leads all these two factors leads to the sustainability of the industry or the. What is industrial revolution? Industry 5 is the first industrial revolution ever led by the human. In all the four industrial revolutions, we started cutting down the involvement of a human. And this is the first industrial revolution where we found the importance of a human brain, human intelligence, and that's why it is led by the human. Industry 5 is not an extension to the Industry 4. There is no technological improvement, no extension of anything of industry. Industry 5, not another revolution. It is a complement or support to the Industry 4. I will say it is a part of a Industry 4. My thinking in 2010, the architect of Industry 4, what they have dreamed, they must have dreamed, they must have visualized a lot of things to happen in this era of Industry 4. That Industry 5 has proved to be a full realization of what architects of the Industry 4 had dreamed in 2000. So that dream has been supported to come into the reality. That is what is my feeling. The interaction between the computers, robots, and human workforce will ultimately become more meaningful and mutually enlightened to each other. That is what we believe and I believe. Industry 5 aims utilizations of existing resources. There is no additional technology. There is no additional machinery or there no additional. Whatever you have got has to be, utilized, make total use of it, and that is Industry 5. It is based on the principle of systematic waste prevention by recycling, and a circular economy. The circular economy is a big subject now because of the pandemics and all these things and the cost present. Circular economy is a survival, and that Industry 5 is definitely one of the factors which will support the circular. With Industry 5, you will be able to automate the manufacture process better, which means you will have real-time data coming from the field. We are getting a lot of data, and true data is coming from the shop floor. Industry 5 will give you a more and more data from software, which will be real data, which may not be very encouraging, but it's true. The fact will be known to us. What is the perfection, rejection, lot of things. It will be a data from the real, and that from the shop floor. If in a pandemic, everything could be work from home except the manufacturing. No manufacturing will be done by home. Industry 5 brings personalization and a human touch back to the manufacturing process. See, up to Industry 4, the robots were carrying a repeatedly job to a perfection. A program is set, and the robots are doing it so perfectly and very. But it is done as per only program done by the human expertise. The robots are getting confused many times if anything happens, any complication happens. And many times it has happened because of that, many failures and disasters have happened. Because robots have got no brain. The brain is somebody else. It's a human brain. So any complication, anything comes in a way of a robot, there are 2, 3 options. After that option, robot can't do it. And that's why human intelligence is required to resolve other than the program issues when Industry 5 exists. You can get day and day same production or same line working for high production. But all of a sudden, in one day in a month or 1 hour a month, something happens and get disturbed. And there you require human interference. And that's why Industry 5 exists. It is not the new technology at all. How Industry 5 fits into the post-pandemic. In a COVID, these 2 years, the digitization was transformed and accelerated very fast. Because of the digitalization, all the things are happening or happened in this pandemic period. The 2 years is a really eye-opening for everybody for us. And the same way, Industry 5 accelerated focus on the challenges and the importance of the people, environment, and society. Because in pandemic, the people, environment, and society was the main important. There are many factories were closed. Many specialized people working on these factories were not available or say they are gone on. There are many challenges. And thus the collaborative robots are well positioned to become an Industry 5 tool. It's a collaboration of a human with the robot. And industry welcomes this. Industry 5 provides a vision of an industry that aims beyond efficiency and productivity. We were thinking only on efficiency, that working one type of a product a day or continuously doing a mass production, getting 99% efficiency, higher productivity, and all. But that mass production was not being required by the customer. The customer required varieties of the product. The quantities were started differing. People have started cutting down their requirements because of the pandemic. Everybody realized that yes, let's have what is required. Let's not keep anything for tomorrow. Let's use it for today. The human to create the personalized products demanded by the customer. The customer's demands were, you know, customize the product and then it is delivered to the people. So that is the major advantage of Industry 5. It has brought a great benefit to the industry, workforce, and society also. It's again coming back rehumanization of a human race towards the automation. See, automation is automation, and that automation is through a human. Industry 5 is a change from mass automation to a process of enhancing capabilities of a human workforce for achieving personalization by product customization. Today, the product customization is a USP for selling any product. It's a key to selling of any of the products. And let's compare. It's just a comparison of Industry 4 and 5. It's my view. There may be a different views, but these are my views. Many of us think that human is poor substitute for the robot. Yes, because human makes a lot of mistakes. Whatever, we are not 100% perfect. Because robots are much more consistent than the humans and better at precision. That's why we prefer robots. But robots are inflexible, incapable of adapting. Robots have got a fixed brain, fixed operation, doing 100% perfection, but they are not flexible and they are not capable for the adaptability, which is very important. At a critical case, intelligent workers is making perfect judgment in view of a long experience defined us as a human. Anything happens in the process, the robot get confused and the critical stage is resolved by the human intelligence. So the Industry 5 is giving opportunity to intelligent workers, intelligent workforce. It's a small comparison I made, Industry 4 and Industry 5. Industry 4 focus on a connecting machine, as against Industry 5 focus on delivering customers' experience, customer delights, mass customization, hyper customization, intelligent supply chain, responsive and distributed supply, smart product, experience activated product, manpower distance from the factories, return of manpower to the factory. Then what is through Industrial Revolution 5? It's a collaboration of a robot and human. We come together and make best of it. Human are flexible. We are flexible to join hands with anybody for the progress. And that is the quality of a human. The collaborative combination of human intelligence is very, very important. It is about robot helping humans work better and faster, leveraging advanced technologies like Internet of Things, big data, and etc. That is, if they two come together, they can do it very effectively and efficiently. It adds personal human touch to the industry, pillars, automation, and efficiency. We were previously only automation with the productivity and efficiency. But here, if there is a human touch for that, it will add to the customized true product out of this automation and efficiency. The pairing of humans and machines open the door to countless opportunities in manufacturing. So I will say that there are autopilot mode in every machine. Recent machine you buy, there is autopilot mode, right from aircraft to any of the machines. But even though the autopilot mode is available, we are keeping the operators, pilots to manage those autopilot modes in case of a difficulty. Sometimes they may not face any difficulty. They have to sit just and observe what's going on. But yes, so you have to be present to avoid any disaster outcome. There is a auto mode on a car also, where you can park your car anywhere. And there are many auto modes in every machine. In textile also, there are a lot of auto modes. But for these auto modes also, somebody is there to take care of the critical times and eventualities at a critical time. This is collaboration of a robot. That if you are collaborative robot, they are called as a cobots. And that is really best use of a robotic technology. If, as I showed you in the picture, these two hands of automated hand and a human hand makes errors, one makes without error, but other the makes error who thinks for the critical thing with the other dimension. So if they join hands, it's a true use of a robotic technology. They can create effective and personalized human experience. Industry 5 will make the factory a place where creative people can work efficiently along with the robot. Yes, we need to train. We need to train our people who will definitely make the robot to work efficiently. That is our intelligence, our only brain, human brain can do. And if that is done, we are 100% perfect. This is what I show you some of the factories where a lady is sitting alone, managing so many operations on a laptop. But we need to manage. In case of a difficulties, he has to make alarm, do anything, take a decision. Industry 5 recognized that a man and a machine must be interconnected to meet the manufacturing complexity. If you take a textile industry, I will specifically take a textile industry. We have a lot of complexity. Spinning, weaving, in processing, bleaching, dyeing, print, finishing, so many things are there. And even with the spinning, weaving, all this section, different type of machines are there. There is a museum of machines, different technology machines are there. There are no one technology machine. So there are many complexity in our textile industry. So this will be definitely taken care by this Industry 5. Industry 5 takes such efficiency or productivity to a step further, which I already told. It is about refining the collaborative interaction between human and machine. It is said when I started my apprenticeship after passing out from the visiting, I was sent to industry, textile industry for taking a training. So the boss told me this machine is running, making a noise. You know, the textile machine makes a huge noise. The machine is not making a noise. The machine is speaking with you. You should understand the language of a machine to make it perfect. Those days. I passed out in 1968, long back. So my boss was correct. So absolutely it's right. This is a picture, you know, many operations a robot can do. But there should be somebody to take care of his operation, supervise his operation, and in case of difficulties, can help robot to go for the solution. This is also working from the distance. You can do it, but there should be a human being to do it. This cannot be just program that if this happened, this happened. No, this has been done, but many places difficulties are. Very rare cases, not be for every day, but there are. This is what in 2020 remote working was a pandemic has made the mobile is our tool to do a lot of remote work, ordering everything and all this. That is what is Industry 5, the machine and man. Ultimately, the man is making, human is making what required to be done. I'm not touching Industry 6, it is something else, but people are started talking about Industry 6 also. Textile machinery innovation in Industry 5. Some of the innovation I have noted out, which you can take out of your industry and find out. 1733, flying shuttles, as I told. 1742, cotton mills were first opened in India. 1764, spinning jenny invented by James, the first machine to improve upon spinning wheels, which you see a lady rotating a wheel. 1764, water frame. These are all everything done by the water, invented by Richard. 1769, patented the water frame. 1730, patented in spinning jenny. 1773, the first cotton textile were produced in the factory. I like that these are the some small things which are taken off. You can give different, so you can see to your industry what is happening in your industry. That is, you can see. Thank you very much for having a patience hearing from us, and I'm open for the question and answer.
Thank you.
If you
Thank
are
you,
not
sir.
satisfied, you can write on my mail, take down my
Yes.
mail, and then anybody can write. So I can give in a detail.
So there are already some questions lined up.
Yeah.
So I had requested people who want to ask questions to please raise your hand
Yeah.
on the thing. And I see Mr. Gopal Bhasin is ready to ask a question. So, sir, if you would like to have a glass of water before
You let me
start. All right. And meantime, there are other questions in the chat boxes, which I will pick up one by one and put forward to you, or perhaps invite the questionnaire to come forward.
Okay, madam.
Sir. Okay, Mr. Gopal Bhasin, please go ahead.
Thank you, Professor. Vilasji, my question is that from industrial revolution 1 to we are moving to 5.
Yes.
You have been heading very large textile mills also, many of them. As an end user, we do not see many of the textile mills currently producing world-class fabrics and world-class capacities. And on top of that, Indian textile value chain still not competitive compared to our neighbors. Can you please, you know, give your views on this?
Yeah, definitely. It's a fact that we are not reached to that competitive level to cater to the world. The reason is that basically, first is we have the machinery combination of industry 2 to industry 4. You must be having a machine of industry 3, 4 together. So you don't have a factory where the same type of machines are there. You know, if you want to have a good product, you should have a sequence of a machine. And as you know, textile industry is not a continuous process. In some of the strikes, especially in Datta Sama strike in 1982, the sequence cell is composite mills are dismantled into the 4 parts: spinning, weaving, processing, and garmenting. So the continuity of a quality product is not produced. The spinner doesn't know what fabric is made from my yarn. Weaver doesn't know where my fabric is going to use and who is the final customer. So it's a, you know, definitely I would say we have a museum of a machine in our industry, and that's why we are not reaching to the production. But at the same time, I can tell you that there are certain small players are coming out. They are becoming big. They are taking care of all these difficulties and they are producing the world's best fabric. I'll give you one example of a Wellspun. Wellspun has done wonders in last 10 years and catered export market big. You know, the Wimbledon towels has been used for last 5 to 6 years. All the terry towels are used in Wimbledon is supplied by Wellspun. This is what
May I supplement Professor Nian to what Mr.
Yes.
Gharat has?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
See, according to me, what Mr. Gharat says is okay. That is all right, and that is means right reply. But I would like to supplement that. See, we in fact have been responsible for that. There are two things. One is things which are external, and one is that things which are internal. Things which are internal to us, that we have always promoted the labor-oriented industry, and that way we have given more preference to small-scale industry like power loom, hand processing, and small-scale processing units, small spinning units of 900 spindles. All those things have have worked as a deteriorating factor for the development of the textile industry. Secondly, see, our industry, Indian industries, say, like I can say it is industry 2.0. We have India has become has been a textile industry since 2.0, and we are having all old machines. And the government worked very interestingly to discard those machines, but certain invested interest worked on those, and those machines, like Mr. Gharat was telling, the machines went from Mumbai to Tarapur and all, and Tarapur is the major producing center for that. How can you expect a world-class production from the third-class power looms? The neighboring countries are the textile developed countries in textile production are those who have come up late, or their democracy is not there. Like in China, China wants to discard the spindle 1 million spindle overnight. It is done. But in India, if government wants that 1 lakh looms should be dismantled, old looms should be dismantled, it is not possible. Third thing, that we are getting only small orders. The machines like Mr. Gharat was showing in his presentation, one is continuous bleaching, dyeing machine, etc. that requires at least 1 million, means at least 1 lakh, sorry, at least 1 lakh meters of fabric to be produced at a time. We don't get order for that. We get order for 5,000 meters. We get orders means for say 20,000 meters in 5,000 lots or even 1,500 lots. How can a continuous dyeing processing machine will be able to be useful in this situation? It is idle. And most of the units, processing units, which I can say came during that industry 3.0, they have become idle or they have become closed because they didn't get order. So there are very factors for which Indian industry is not able to produce world-class textile products. Thank you.
Professor
true.
Chia, this is Ram. Can I, because
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is one of the
Yes,
Dr.
sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Dr. Ral, this is one of the best useful forum. I want to tell you, based on this interaction alone, which I should thank you and your committee. Anyway, words fail to acknowledge. And also what Mr. Gharat brought into thing is, the two things are, apart from what Dr. Lal said, I'm really happy that being an ex-senior government person, he could do that. Another point is two things which I have been beating my head since 1999 when I started working with Dr. Lal and our colleagues. We have to improve our product basket, sir. That's the one thing. We only focus on order and things like that. But if you look at China, you go to them, the turnaround time is quick, but at the same time, you could get variety of products. So Wellspun is a great asset to India. Alok is a great asset, no doubt about it. But the opportunities are only limited to certain key players like them. But how would then the growth happen? So two things is we have to boost the SME industry to create value-added products. And then we are stuck beyond Tirupur, nothing is happening. Right, and then the second thing is enhance the product basket. Terry towel is a good thing. Beyond terry towel, what are we doing? And the third thing is, like you did at your age and at your experience, you are still willing to interact with students and give Mr. Gharat. So pranams, koti pranams. There needs to be much more interaction in a fruitful way, not just academic universities, just simply plot a curve and say, this, I change this or this happens. So three things: product basket enhancement, more risk-taking and active involvement for SMEs in value-added products, and third is active and fruitful exchange and interaction between R&D and academia and industry. Industry has to engage, and then, okay, this is the problem I have. I will collectively share resources. I will collectively give the reward. So these three things, like I always give analogy of a 4-leg table or a 3-leg stool. So this is what we need. And I'm really glad that people like you are coming and sharing the wisdom. Apart from what Dr. Lal said, those are pearls of wisdom. What Dr. Lal said now is why we are lagging. Is partly self-institute. Apart from that, we need to have much more active interaction. And one such thing is happening is NISTI forum, where senior people are coming on board and trying to give back to the society. So we got to improve this. All I can do sitting in United States is write and talk. When I come in summer, I come normally 3 or 4 times. But then I go away, people lose the luster. So this is what we should do. Thank you.
Thank you,
Professor Nian, may I invite Professor Kushal Sen's comment also on this, because this is very important question.
Sure,
Professor
sir.
Kushal Sen is there?
Yes.
All right. The thing that I have is that I think there are two things which probably we must realize in the Indian industry is, first of the more important thing is, of course, the resources, whichever way they have been made available to industries. The other is the right type of an mix of an intent also. Like, are we really interested in actually adapting to new systems? Because actually, as you say, new system is nothing. Actually, you have a certain requirement of a user, if you understand that, and based on the user requirement, you put up an industry. and the flexibility, as Dr. Ramkumar also said, that in case you find that the machines are lying idle, time to change the machines, sell them up, and be flexible enough to get new types of products. We cannot probably, depend quite a lot on the policies of the government, because the industry by itself is sufficient enough to take a call. Like, what I am saying is that small groups or entrepreneurs or startup companies are becoming successful simply because they probably found the need of a certain type of a product, and they are able to respond to the consumer in a quicker way. Whether it's China, of course, manufacturing, it cannot be done, but the sales guys, the people who are the Amazon and Flipkart and people like Zerodha and what kind of thing, based on the need of certain people, they find that the product that they are supposed to do has to cater to the user. Unfortunately, it takes a lot of time to make a textile product, but nevertheless, even if you have a very good machinery, but if the actual survey that was done during the time when the industry was put up is not matching, we have to change the product itself. Not just the people or the machine. Machines have to change based on the product that you want. And the people also must change based on the knowledge that they have, the domain knowledge that they have. So whether we go for a 4.0 or 5.0, that's one of the things which we can do. But the moment we say, well, machine and people have to interact, what means obviously is that they have to be, interaction has to be much more sophisticated at a different level. And what would mean is the whole environment, the cost requirement of setting up such a system is going to be high. Of course, later on you will get it back. And I'm quite sure that the smaller groups are probably can be more successful than the larger groups. As I said, we don't have too much of a large orders, it's a smaller order. So actually the AI and machine learning can help. The question that remains is, the people who are actually responsible for running an industry, do they have the flexibility to change their product range to even the goals of the industry quickly, based on the feedback that they get? Or whether because the smaller people are earning at the rate which textile industry obviously has not been earning it in last 50 years. The margins are so low, so they always believe that we cannot invest much. But I'm sure it should be possible. And there is no reason why any machine should be staying idle. Then it doesn't really matter whichever kind of machine it is. If it is not producing, then you're losing. And then that's bad. That's my general comment.
Thank you for your insight, and the other professors as well. Thank you. Another question from, I wanted to invite Mr. Karan Mohan, I think he's disappeared. So let me invite Reena to please come and ask your question.
Good afternoon. I'm attending this call from Abu Dhabi. I had come here for some work, and I have to give you a first-hand experience of my meeting with the buyer today. Like just last week, I met up with a client and I told them that I run a buying house and I can send, I showed my presentation, my designs to the people in Abu Dhabi. So they looked at it and they said, oh, very nice, but why are you doing it in India? You please take it from Turkey. Why don't you get it made in Turkey? So I just asked them, why did you say that? They said, oh, lots of people come from India. They show something, but when the product comes from there, it is not the same. I was very, very embarrassed. And this is a personal experience which somebody has told me. And I mean, wherever I have been walking in all the malls in Abu Dhabi, most of the products are either made in Sri Lanka, made in Vietnam, made in Bangladesh. Only I have seen made in India men's shirts. Other products, like even for kids wear, they're saying, please get some soft ones. And then the the lesser expensive product is coming from India. Most of the things I've seen from Tirupur. Being a designer at heart, and having it in my soul, it is very, very embarrassing to face such situation. And I feel it is all because of the attitude of the people. We are not scared. Our laws are not so strict. People can get away by not making payments. People can get away doing anything. But abroad, it is not like that. So to promote as an Indian, our Indian product, it gets very, very embarrassing, and we have to give double, triple assurances. No, no, I will be transparent throughout. You will know at every stage what I'm doing. I'll tell you where I get it from. Why does it become so difficult for us? It's all that what other people have done, and we are facing it today. So it is a general attitude, I would say, because if you look at history, India used to make the best fabrics. If you go towards khadi and all those, it was uncomparable. But here, I'm sorry to say, whether it's the votes or politics, because last whole season I have suffered with cotton yarn price. It has become like share market.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not mincing words, but this is what the reality is, and I'm facing it right now.
I can understand, Reena.
Thank you.
Very much for your feedback, your personal experience. Vilas sir, would you like to comment on that as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Reena, I understand what is the situation you get or embarrassment you get with the foreign buyers. Because I have set 2 joint ventures unit in India, one from Italy, Brahmana, shirting unit, and other from Hamerle, Austria. See, basically, as I told you, our textile industry is dismantled into the 4 parts: spinning, weaving, processing, and garmenting. So there is no communication, proper communication. There is only supply chain, but there is no information chain at all.
I'm sorry, sir. I differ here because I know a lot of our yarns are being exported, and China imports from India and makes fabrics and sells.
Yes. Yes.
So they are not, their fiber, their yarns are not happening there. It's coming from a different country.
Yeah.
But still they're able to deliver.
Yeah.
Because when we are standing at it is the pricing, which is another very important thing. We are not able to compete with them.
Yeah, cotton pricing is a politically motivated. So I don't comment anything on that. What you say about yarn prices in last 6 months, yes, it's a magic done by all politicians. So can't comment on that. But yes, it's true that we are unable to cater to the international buyer requirement as they want, because they feel that there is no consistency of product. That I agree with.
Professor Nian Karan Mohan is back. You can call him. You
Sir,
are
I would
unmute.
like,
You are mute.
I would like to comment which product from Turkey is better than India, except carpet.
Professor Nian, you please unmute yourself.
Yes, yes, yes.
Except carpet, no product from Turkey is better than India. It is my experience. I am a yarn seller.
Sir,
I'm sorry. I have seen lace fabrics. Okay, I'm just giving one example.
Okay,
the finishing of the lace fabric is much better here than what you get in India.
Okay, I would like to just intervene a bit here. I know this is very interesting to discuss, but let us go finish the questions first, and we will come back if we have time for this. Thank you. Mr. Karan Mohan, please go ahead. You may ask your question.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
I would like to introduce myself that I am from Tirupur. Yes. It's like
You're not clear.
Mr. Karan Mohan, continue, please.
sorry, am I audible, sir? Like
Yes.
you are able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes, we can.
So yeah, it's not related to the problems what you are facing right now. I'm not here to discuss all these things, but in a way that, as Mr. One gentleman have said that Turkey is not at par to the manufacturing level in India. Gentlemen, please do understand that. Whereas the polo manufacturer what in India, you can't like it's not up to the par what they are getting in Turkey. Turkey is super excellent. You know the latest brands. What are all the leading brands in coming out of Europe? They never get manufactured in Tirupur, or else even me from Tirupur, we got an excellent products. Like we do a lot of value-added products, but still, like in order to innovate ourselves, people are not ready. Like as being a manufacturer, we really like do face a lot of struggles that we when we go to an exhibition, comparing the products which are all catered in the exhibition by other country manufacturers, still we are back ahead. Still we are looking always for the basic things, as like you said, we are looking always for the commercial aspects. We are not ready to innovate ourselves. Still, like if a machine has been introduced by the manufacturer, as a machinery manufacturer, if he suggests that this is the product that we that get to use in getting fabricated in the machine, we used to follow the same. We are not innovative. We are not trying to innovate ourselves. But by seeing at least the other things, we should have to innovate ourselves. And that's what we need to present ourselves.
Professor Nian, we should ask them to raise questions, not comments.
Right.
Yeah, sorry. So at the same time, sir, I would like to ask you regarding in the coming days, like do you feel that for the technical textiles, like will be there any sort of like innovations that has to happen in India, where rather than sourcing from China and Vietnam, sorry, the Taiwan fabric and all what we are using for the technical side products, whereas for the technical textiles, example for these products which are all used in the medical sites, as well as in the automobile sites, as well as in the like part of engineering automobile industry sites. Since we are getting a lot of we are into innovation of these products, and we are getting into we are tied up with some other brands. They are leading brands. They are world-class brands right now, and we started manufacturing a few products for them. But the duty percentage of what we are facing right now with the Indian custom structure is far like it's more comparatively compared to the other countries. Will it get reduced in the coming days?
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
sir, continue. You
Yeah,
are
Mr.
the word. Yes.
Mr. Karan, regarding duties and all these things, I would not like to comment on this. Government policies, I would not like to comment on this. But for a technical textile, yes, it is a future for our textile industry. And this industry 4 and 5, machines and technologies are capable of making any technical textile what the words require. So technically, yes, you have to take help of these revelations and buy the machines accordingly to make the product perfect as per the requirement of your customer.
All right, sir. Thank you. I know there are many people who have personal experience to narrate over here. Let's first finish with the questions. We have Preeti Sarva, who has a question. If you're around, Preeti, would you like to ask? Or I can at least read out the question. Are there any current innovations in the garment industry? This is with reference to the Industrial Revolution 4.0, 5.0, etc. So
Yeah.
are there specific? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Yes,
go
I
ahead.
wanted to ask this because post-COVID, I want to know what all innovations have happened in garment industry specifically. Thank you.
Post COVID, that making this industry 4 and industry 5, that is robot and the man. A lot of garment industry in this period has tried to collaborate the human with their automation, because there was a shortage of people and a lot of automated machines were available for them. So many of the industries, especially Bangladesh, they have taken advantage of it. And in India also, I believe some of the garment makers in Bangalore, they have done. I don't know exactly the units who have make use of it. So they have definitely automated their garment industry by collaborative way, where their perfection and the productivity has gone. I can find out the unit's name and can send it to you afterwards.
May I add, Professor Nian, something to this?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Preeti, you know, in fact, your question is very good, means very pertinent. But you know that whatever developments are taking place in textile industry, they are all leading to garment industry. Have you heard of the artificial intelligence which Mr. Gharat was telling? The machine to machine talking and Internet of the things. You introduce fiber and you get a T-shirt from machine itself. There are so many, every development. See, now you stand before the machine and machine designs the garment according to all this is industrial revolution only. So I can discuss with you in detail later on, because this forum is now for others also should be there. But almost all developments in industry 4.0 or 3.0, they are leading to garment industry. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lal. Gopal ji, would you like to ask another question? Is that why your hand is still raised?
No, he has not lowered it.
All right. Okay, sir, I have one question for you, Mr. Gharat.
Yes.
For Industrial Revolution 5.0, we have seen that it is becoming a lot more coming back to human-centered betterment. It is looking at being more humane, more inclusive. Ultimately, there is a realization automation by itself is not going to be successful unless the element of human beings are a part of it. Now, having said that, what are we doing in India? What are the kind of initiatives, whether they are public or private initiatives, which students can look forward to understand it better or to be involved in a later stage of their professional, once they get out of in the professional field?
Yeah, that's a good question, madam. See, recently we have been talking to the faculties and the principals of few textile institutes to have the industrial training to the students every year, not after only final year, but for every year, out of their 2 months holidays, minimum 1 month they should go to the industry and take a learning from the industry, which will definitely is a combination of their theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge. And those students, we believe, and I have seen some of the students that also from Visit here, they are doing a very good innovation. Recently, they have participated in a national innovation program and they got a reward also. So that is what we suggested, that we should send our students to the shop floor.
All right.
Professor Nian, now any question is there? Mr. Gharat has given his email, and those can be asked. Means if there is no one or two, you can take. They are raising hand, and then they may send a query to Mr. Gharat on email and get back the reply. And then after you may call Dr. Kuldeep Sharma for some.
Yes. So thank you very much. It has been most insightful. You have taken us on a journey from 1.0 to 5.0, which is yet continuing. So thank you, Mr. Gharat. I'm going to invite Dr. Kuldeep Sharmaji to give a summarization of today's talk.
Thank you.
Sharma.
Thank you, Nian. You have been a wonderful anchor for the event, all the events which have taken place so far.
Thank you.
And we recognize that at this platform also. Good evening, friends, and good evening, VIP speaker for us. Having 5 decades of industry exposure with the vision from fiber to retail now. As your experience goes, I find it difficult to make a closing remarks. It could have been better for me to make opening remarks if I was invited, but nevertheless, with the greetings and blessings of our respected chairman, Ram Asri Lal, हम राम के भरोसे सारा काम कर लेते हैं. Thank you very much. It is all in the lighter vein to make the atmosphere a little lighter after this heavy talk and post-mortem of the history of the textile industry, beginning from first revolution to the 5th revolution, and what next is also on the agenda of people. It is good to have persons of the caliber of Dr. Gharat, Mr. Vilas Gharat. I have interacted with him on TIE events also and in some conferences also. So I'm aware about his talent. There is nothing much to comment on this, but it's still better for us on this platform, as the industry has a different vision and mission for its members, whether individual or corporate members, and textile fraternity as a whole. We need to see the perspective nationally first and globally first. So what is going to happen in next 25 years, or rather much beyond, when we talk of 2070 of net zero stage announced by Prime Minister recently. Now, this human-centric approach has to come with the invention of the wheel and development of the machinery, innovations in the machinery and development in the human skills. The cycle has to come a full round, where the focus has to come on the talent of the human beings, interface, and the quality of the life of the workforce and the people involved in the manufacturing and marketing or in textile operation as a whole, beginning from fiber to retail. Now this agenda of 2045, as we also advocate, the Amrit Mahotsav, 75 years under the national scheme, is that we need to address these national and global issues, especially the climate change, are to be addressed, health, education of the people involved in the industry, which was less considered. Now, these are going to be, the human aspect are going to be very predominant in years to come, and the industry will, those industry will get the clearance to manufacture if they perform to these benchmarks assigned by UNO, which address to the employment level, which address to the income level. World Bank has put the per capita income of country to $12,000 US, whereas IMF has put $20,000 US. So all these developments and automations are moving into the direction wherein Indian manufacturing industry is attempting to be in a developed nations league rather than in a developing countries at the present moment. Well, all said done, this IoT and these tools and about this is all innovations, and these are all interfaces which we need to see in the process of the time. But at the human level, what we need to see the transformation is basically a value-based leadership, the trust-based leadership of the enterprises, that too in SME sector. And the writing on the wall is very clear, and some of the learned speaker was also mentioning that this human aspects and work-life balance need to be considered while we operate on the machines or we operate in an atmosphere where value addition is there. I remember the NIST's experience of 2001, when we first organized a conference, international conference on textile value chain. The essence of that conference, which I normally quote on the platform, is this, that the entire textile industry will move up to the value chain, and the retail formats and the front-end segment of the industry will be the driver of the growth. And we see now very clear in operation, in practice, that this format of retail formats as well as the garment sector, they are of prime consideration to the policymakers, as they are drivers of the growth for all of us. So all these things are so complex that they are bringing us into the world of VUCA, where volatility, complexity, uncertainty, and ambiguity rules the order of the day. Now, the plus side of this, what we see, and a burning example amongst us is Mr. Vilas Gharat, who by way of a talent and experience of 50 years is still interacting productively with the industry and giving guidance of that experience, which is on the human aspect also. So we do not have to afraid of these VUCA complexity in the world, but watch things, participate in the growth, think of development of the talent, diversification of the skill set, and see how do we respond, our industry respond to the net zero climate, the health part of it, education part of it, the societal reforms, which the countries, including India, are taking in their stride. So I think the time is running very fast, and we have exceeded the limit today. With these words, I will stop myself and perhaps would request the organizer and our NIST team to think upon another event or any interaction among these aspects, which are going to be very, very important for the younger generation. And 2047 will see the young India, the young talent, the young industry, the enterprises, where the proprietors or small enterprises, the team will be earning in a different way.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Thank you. These were words which were really encompassing the whole discussion today. May I now invite Sudarshan ji to give the vote of thanks. Yes.
Hello. Yes. It's unmuted now. I really thank Mr. Gharat. It has been a long time. I was in touch with him in Moraji Mambhana when I was with SGS, and I've seen him on the floor, very active, decisive, and giving a right direction. At the same time, I thank the participants being over here. Thank Dr. Lal, Nancy ma'am, to you as well, Dr. Vijay, to put things together and really bring things in the light so that people can take the decision which they need to take, because there are many aspects which needs to be touched, addressed, and they have to take the decision. I thank everyone over here. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all
Thank
the
you all.
participants. R.N. Sharma ji, Goel Saab. Yes, madam, you said something.
Yes, just thank you all, and we will see you in the next webinar.
Yeah, that is on
Sure.
15th. That is on 15th Saturday.
All
Sure.
right.
On smart learning from smart startup achievers.
Oh,
Learnings from startup achievers.
all right.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very much.
sir.
Thank you, Professor Niam.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Professor Sen.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you
was
very much.
lovely meeting you.
Thank you. Very, very thanks. Very nice program. Very appreciable. It will
Thank you. Thank you.
boost the industry basically.
Thank you, Charan. We are so enlightened by your joining here.